Yeah. Not like a Q's though. Like that one. That's one to die first, looks like. Barely got it loaded just now. Yeah, I tried it. Fuck. I'm gonna chase that. All right, I almost missed this play. I had SPY loaded off rip there, looking for that play that I had out, and I switched last second here to this Q630 when it was falling first there, especially after I came up and retested that pre-market low area, that 631, call it, and went green to red, and I switched over just in time. I saw that happening on the other chart off the camera there, so then I switched really quick, got into the 630 just in time. Basically, I switched and clicked like as fast as I could. And then they kind of hovered there and chilled there. Stop was going to be just above that prior day low. The lowest drawdown that I saw was about negative 3.5%. And then it started going. And then the cons still weren't really moving that much. You know, you can kind of see that for the move that it made, the cons weren't really moving that much for 0 DTEs. So I was staying really patient there, not trying to trim. Then I almost trimmed right about like 8% or so like that. And then it just ripped back up to like 5%. So I didn't want to take that. So I was staying patient there until I finally got a couple of trims off here in the teens. There's a. Oh, yeah. Oh, the break. Give us a good break. Come on. Yeah, I took more of that right there. Keep it going. I want to give you guys a little voiceover here for the rest of this trade, kind of give you some insight of what's going through my mind here on this play right now. So on that 629 break, I took a trim. That was my third trim, so I still had over half left because I just trimmed 25% at a time normally. So idea here was to try to get more. This thing was just dying, but obviously it just kept dying here, so how far can it really go? So my idea in my head was to keep it a 629 trail stop from there with the little bit more than 50% that I had left, but I was trying to get more out of this. And then you see these couple of trims here, you know, we did get more. Couple more trims down, like those 50s or so, like that. So then I got mostly out there because then I trimmed more than 50% there because that was just a nice push after that 629 break broke to the 80s, and then it chilled, and then it popped down to those 50s. So I was like, boom, boom, took two trims, you know, relatively quick together, and kind of chilled here for a little bit longer. And then from there, the idea was kind of just go all out on the new low there with, you know, the little bit that I had left there, you know. So almost got that whole move, really. I'm going to fast forward through here now. It just went a little bit further. I mean, yeah, that's great. No, but I was almost out at that point anyway, you know, so that, you know, really doesn't matter. But really happy the way we executed on this trade. Got our entry in there. Didn't stress out. Didn't trim too early because that's what can happen sometimes, you know, like you get in, especially if you think you chase and then it's not really going nowhere. And then, you know, you see 5-6%. And you're like, okay, maybe, you know, I would have been like 12% if I didn't hesitate or chase or whatever. And so you start trimming too early and then, you know, you miss out on this big gain right here, you know. So happy with the way I chilled here. So I want to show you this guys, this kind of stuff like in real time and try not to fast forward too much. So you kind of see it and feel the emotion and waiting on the trimming and this and that, you know. So hopefully it helped you guys out a little bit like that. This was my birthday trade, one and done. So that makes it even extra special. After that, just got dressed up, did some face paint, went out for the evening. Great time, great Halloween night out here in Thailand. It was a lot of fun. And then I'm going to throw an extra trade in here from the following Monday on this same video as well. So enjoy. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Oh, that retest is crazy. Keep going, though. Meanwhile, Tesla's ripping up. I think that's wild. Tesla or Qs and SPY just die. get down. Let me get a trim. Oh, come on down off that retest. Come on. I was trying to stay super patient on this trade right here, especially by the way it kept retesting and coming down. The contracts are doing backflips here and there, but man, I was kind of mad at myself for a second there because I really thought I missed that trim. When it came down there and that new low was in like the mid-teens or so, I was really about the trim, like was really getting on it about the trim. And then it just kind of ripped back up real quick, you know, so I didn't want to panic sell when it just like contract got evaporated. So I waited and them shits almost went back up to break even. They were like 3-4% or so. You know, so I was like kind of kicking myself for a second there, you know, but, you know, I was trying to keep with it, you know, here. But then watch what happens here on this retest. Wow, dude, that's wild. Give me that low. Feel like I'm being greedy here. All right, first trim. I'll get another one. Oh, a big trim right there. I'm just not going to let it go up too high again. Might have got lucky a couple times letting it go to 0. Come on, new low. SPY making new low. And Tesla's finally falling now. Another trim there. 22%. Pre-market here. You can stop right there, so. Oh, nice pieces. Another piece. Nuh-uh. 28. So I was about 75% out here at that last trim right there. And I was really looking for that 633 break with what I had left. So I just wanted to let this thing ride out a little bit here because I was mostly out, you know, or like, you know, 75, 80% out or so. But I was comfortable letting this thing retest because every time it seemed to retest here, it was slapping back down, you know. So with what I had left, all the emotions gone, money's in the bank. I wanted to let these ride out and see if it was going to get another retest, whether it was going to be like in that 65 area or a little bit higher in that 80 area. So I was comfortable letting it go all the way up to the 80. Of course, if it retested in 65, that could have been a little less stressful, of course. But I was comfortable letting it go up to them 80s there. And that's where I would have got out. So we would have 10%, a little less than 10%, you know, whatever it was. But that's where I was looking at just based on price action, not necessarily the percentage. So we just kind of let it play out for several minutes here. But like I said, we were majority of the way out by now. So you're not really stressing out as much. That's why you trim, you know, you get pieces on here and there, you know, you don't give too much back. And when you are giving it back, you know, you have less and less of your position there, you know, so the emotion's kind of gone. So that's how you're able to stay in longer and let these retests, let these trades kind of play out. You know, of course, if it blows up and just, you know, goes 40% like in a few seconds, yeah, you just take that, you know what I'm saying? But you know, when it kind of creeps like this and it's doing this kind of price action, you know, you just kind of have that feeling where you just want to, you know, take some trims, let retests happen, you know, and just kind of ride it out. All right, big chunk right there. Even though it's barely a new low, but I'm just going to get more off there. Oh, there we go. Oh, at least I got the trim right there, though. I just want this low. So whatever the low is, I'm going to take it. And that'll do it. That'll do it. I'll take that. Out. Fucking out. Sorry. Oh, yeah.